IT governance, you have to understand what are the expectations from IT for the business. And these expectations could be varied. Stakeholders like customers want to have everything delivered extremely fast, extremely quickly, extremely efficient and reliable. And while doing all of those things, they also want to have minimal risk. And you also want to make sure that the privacy of information and things pertaining to conformance, pertaining to risk avoidance are adhered to. Now, if all these things have to be done and somebody has to take care of setting the right direction, there is no other body other than the governing body, the board of directors, who is competent to do such a thing. Once the board of directors takes the right decision for the IT governance, then it is a responsibility of the IT management to make sure that things are planned properly, planned, built, run, delivered, monitor, all of those things so that the direction set, the expectations are achievable and are delivered. So that's the whole background of IT governance. We still seem to be lacking in India, because in India I observed that major organizations are definitely following the global way of following IT governance, following the right framework and making sure that the right steps are taken. Among the small and medium enterprise in India, there still seems to be a lot of hesitance. And the hesitancy is more because probably the governance aspects themselves are not clear to most of the people. Most of the board of directors expect all the IT related functions to be handled only by the technology people, the CTOs and CIOs. Now CTOs and CIOs are competent to do their job very well, but they may not have the same level of understanding of business that a business manager or the board of directors would be having. So when it comes to setting direction, doing IT governance, that's where we seem to be falling short, because the direction setting not only the responsibility but is accountability of the board world over. And that accountability is still not taken that seriously by the Indian companies, and that's where we find there is a lag between what the business expects and what the IT is capable of delivering. Somewhere that gap doesn't seem to be still teaching. Essentially, IT is taken as a cost center because IT is taken purely as a services department. Right? It is supposed to be supporting whatever data processing has to be done, and as a pure support department, it is always taken as a cost center. If you look at the IT governance angle, IT governance expects you not only to realize the benefits of implementation in IT, also to optimize the risk and optimize the resources. The focus is on benefit realization. So it's not so much as cost reduction, but resource optimization and risk optimization. So if we start looking at making sure that IT is used for realizing the benefits which otherwise would not accrue if the business wants to do without IT. If that point becomes very clear to the business people, the board of directors, that IT is truly an enabler. It's not just a support function, but it can actually achieve the business objectives. So you have to set, as board of directors, the business objectives right. Once you set the business objectives right, then you have to understand what sort of IT support would be there, how the IT objectives can be aligned to the business objectives, so that the benefit which IT can really indeed provide to the business can actually be accrued. So that's the way we should be looking at, not looking at IT as a cost, but IT as an enabler, and concretely identifying the actual targets, actual objectives, actual direction that could be set by using IT to enable the business. When you are outsourcing the operations part. IT governance is direction setting. Direction setting cannot be outsourced. A business has to decide how exactly it is going to proceed, how exactly it views the demands on its resources by the stakeholders, how exactly these demands are to be prioritized, how exactly the decision has to be taken, which stakeholders' requirements are critical for the business. And this prioritization, this decision making and this entire balancing activity of which stakeholders' requirements are to be given priority is something the governance does. Once the governance has taken a decision that this is the way we are going to prioritize, this is the way we are going to seek our goals, the IT management has the flexibility of outsourcing or insourcing or doing the thing themselves or getting it done by somebody else, because they have to make sure that whatever is expected from them, it is done in the most cost-effective manner. So I don't think that IT governance can be outsourced, or outsourcing is the solution to the IT governance. IT governance is really the responsibility of the top management. They have to make sure that they understand the business, they understand the IT, how it can support, and that's the way they should set the business, set the direction in which the business should be proceeding. I think the best way to implement IT governance is to follow a good framework. And here I like to mention about COVID, which is a business framework. It's not supposed to be an IT framework, it's a business framework for governance and management of enterprise IT. Now, the idea of using a framework is framework provides you a very consistent guidance. Framework is also used by a very large number of organizations all over the world for many years. And the framework evolves because of the contribution made and the lessons learned by deploying this framework in many industries at many countries, and it becomes more and more richer for people to follow that. Now, if you follow such a framework, this is where you get very clear guidance for the governing body, what exactly are the steps that they should follow, what are the processes that they should follow, and similarly clear guidance for the IT management people, where they will understand the entire concept of planning, building, running, monitoring, what are the correct processes to be followed. And when you say correct processes, you also get to understand the roles, responsibilities, accountabilities, the activities. You get to understand what are the best practices to be deployed for making sure that the right approaches are used for the right situation. COVID has identified enablers like the first one being policies, procedures, framework, second one being processes, third one being organizational structure, fourth is culture, ethics and behavior, fifth is information, sixth is services, infrastructure, and seventh is the training, education of all the stakeholders. Now you can very well imagine that if a framework ensures that you have understood everything that will enable deployment of good governance practices or good management practices, and also identified what enablers are required in which manner, how they should be deployed, how they should be measured, how they should be monitored, there is hardly anything that has been left being explained in details which you need to have for good governance or good management. The major organizations in India have been adopting IT governance for many years. And if you look at most of the successful organizations, they have adopted IT governance almost to the fullest. The major concern area is the small and the medium enterprises who feel that having this approach of implementing governance is something very, very advanced, very cost intensive or effort intensive, which is what I wanted to ensure, which is what I want to assure them, that following the good practices provided by good framework for governance and management actually reduces your wastage. Actually, you are able to better utilize your resources if you follow the right practices. It's not something that you are going to have, you will require a lot of people and lot of expertise. It's mostly the common sense. It has been well packaged, and if you follow a well packaged, well defined common sense, I am sure that you are going to save a lot of efforts which otherwise are wasted by just trial and error. Today in India, we are looking at everything global. We are no more isolated. And since we are doing everything which is competing with the world, why not compete on the level playground by following the same good practices which world over people follow? And that's the way probably we are going to make it more efficient, our operations more efficient, more cost effective, more successful. If you do not follow the process way, you do not follow the framework way, then I am very sure we will not be able to compete with the rest of the world. ISACA has been taking a lot of efforts. ISACA has been in India last almost more than 20-25 years. One of the things ISACA has done is making sure that the framework is explained, taught at each level. We go to the large organizations, we make presentations to the board, explain them the importance of following the right governance practices, risk management practices. One of the very successful approach that we have adopted, we have a memorandum of understanding with the Institute IDRBT, Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. Through IDRBT, we conduct a lot of COVID seminars. We go to various cities, invite bankers. Since IDRBT is majorly for banking technology, it's the bankers who are invited, bankers and financial institutions, and we explain them the fundamentals of COVID, how exactly COVID can benefit them, and promote adoption of COVID for the banks and financial institutions. Similarly, whenever we get an opportunity to address a CIO club or address a major organization which is keen on improving its governance practices, we take that opportunity and present our case. So we are making a lot of inroads in clarifying these concepts, clarifying what exactly is IT governance, how IT governance is as critical as just IT management, in fact much more critical than IT management, because management will do what has been set by the governance body, and that's where governance becomes paramount importance. Get the right direction, set the right priorities, and then you will be able to achieve through right instructions to your management team.